Hey, it's Dave McBride from Spur Collector Decoys. We just recently come back from a trade show, and we had a lot of questions about our stuffer decoys. So I thought it might be a good idea to try to answer some of those questions. Probably the number one question that we get asked is how well do they hold up? We designed these to be hunted with. We use them all the time. We've been using them for 6 years now. And over that time period, we've tried to address all the situations that we've run into as far as what's going to hurt this turkey, what's going to be a problem to try to keep it looking nice, and some of the things that we've done. Some of the biggest issues that you have, you get a lot of hens that come in, and of course, it's territorial. They want to fight with it. So some of the things that happen, the hen will come in and it'll peck it in the head. We've had them grab a hold of it and pull on it and, just pretty much go to town on it. So one of the things that we've addressed is, the head itself. Now, we tried to use a freeze-dry head to begin with. We found that the freeze-dry heads were really fragile and they didn't hold up well at all. We also tried using cast heads, and on the hens we found that the more feathers that it has on this head, the softer it's going to look and the more appealing it was to the turkeys. So what we tried to do is come up with a happy medium, that we had something that was going to hold paint well, it was going to hold up really well, and it was going to look nice. What we came up with is what we're using on our decoys now. And basically what it is, it's a preserved head that we've put on a insert type mannequin, and we have it designed so it's soft. It doesn't crinkle and crack. It holds paint really, really well. I mean, it will hold up as far as, a hen coming in and pecking at it, or, you bouncing it off of a tree or something as you're walking through the woods. We found that this particular setup, it might not have the real tiny intricate details that a freeze-dry head has as far as shrinkage goes, but we can paint that back in so it looks like it's there, but it's not truly there. But as far as the longevity of it, this particular one, we've had 2-3 trade shows. It's been beat off the table and, pounded and squeezed and thrown across the room and everything else. And, I'm looking at it. It looks almost as good as the day that, it was put together. So, I mean, like I said, the paint holds up really well. The skin holds up really well. And, it gives you a really nice representation of what a hen head should look like. Some of the other things that we've done, when we mounted these, some of the first prototypes, we didn't put any type of glue or anything on them, and we would have gobblers come in, they would jump up on their back, and the first thing they start moving around on their back, and what would happen is you had a hard mannequin and a crispy hard skin on top of it, and the first thing he did, he slid his feet and it would rip the skin. So to try to address that, what we've done is we started making them where we took the mannequin, we put about a 1/2 inch of an industrial adhesive on it, and when we clean those skins, we get them super clean so all the quills are sticking out and they're actually exposed, and they actually go down into that glue, and what it does is when it dries, it locks them down. So then they can't move down inside. Now they can move out here, but they're still going to have that memory of where that quill was. Some of the other things that we had problems with in the early going is we had a lot of questions about, what happens if it rains. We were kind of reluctant. The only way we're going to find out, take them out when it's raining, stick them out, see what happens. Probably 5-6 different occasions we took these out in rains where we actually had to get into a blind or we would have got soaked. The turkeys got soaked. I mean, they looked horrible. Feathers were all matted down. We brought them back, got a hair dryer out, hit it with the hair dryer. The most detrimental thing that could happen is the skin on the head would start to rehydrate a little bit, But as long as we didn't touch it, the next day or whatever, as soon as it dried out, it was right back to where it was. It didn't move because it was glued down. None of the feathers moved because they were glued down. The skin itself, there is a possibility of it getting wet and rehydrating, but the fact that it's glued, that glue didn't rehydrate, so nothing moved. So, I wouldn't recommend taking it out and getting it soaking wet every day, but, you get a gobbler, he's coming in, it starts to rain, you could give it an hour or two in the rain and it's not going to ruin your decoy. Some of the other things we've done, stuffer decoys inheritedly are hard to carry. A lot of guys, they're out there with one under either arm. They got wire sticking out of them. They're basically just a turkey that somebody mounted for a taxidermy mount, and now it's a decoy. We went a little bit beyond that to try to make it so it's user friendly. It's something that's going to be easy to carry in the field, and obviously if it's a pain to use, you're not going to use it. So what we did is we went to the fact that we have it designed so you can just carry it like this as a handle. It only weighs 2.5 pounds, so it's no big deal to carry. We also have a bag that's available for it and comes with it. I mean, personally, myself and my partner, this is how we carry it. The bag's nice, it does work. We don't recommend that you use the bag all the time, because over time using that bag is going to rough it up a little bit. I mean, it's not going to ruin the decoy, but it's not going to do it any favors either. So if you want to use the bag, that's great, that's wonderful, but our recommendation would be just carry it by the handle. Some of the other questions we've had is, why did we mount it like this? Why this pose as opposed to something else? When we first started out with these, we made about a half a dozen of them, and we would put them all out at the same time. And, we would try to see which one they liked, preferred, or whatever over the other. I mean, probably 99% of the time, for some reason, this particular pose, either to a hen or a gobbler, was the most attractive. So, I mean, hey, if it works, that's what we're going to stick with. So that's why we have this turkey mounted in this position, because to the turkeys, it was the most attractive. One of the other questions that we get all the time is, why should I spend $500 on a stuffer decoy when I can buy, 100 different plastic decoys? And our response to that is, there are a lot of really super nice looking plastic decoys out there. You put it out, you look at it with your eyes, and it looks like a turkey. And, sometimes it will fool turkeys, but, we hunt in Pennsylvania, and there's probably no turkeys in the country that get harassed more than our turkeys. When a new decoy comes out, everybody runs out, runs to Walmart, buys the new decoy, you take it out. Works some of the time. After a turkey gets shot at a couple times, or somebody runs it off coming into that decoy, they soon figure out that it's not the real thing. So what happens is, you're taking your decoy out there, you're spending all that time getting set up, you get in the perfect situation, you start calling the gobbler, he comes in, he sees the decoy, he knows it's not the real thing, so, basically your decoy's running them off, not you. So, we had that problem, and that's why we designed these decoys. For 2 or 3 years, we didn't hunt with any decoys, simply because, it was 50-50 at best with a plastic decoy. So the difference is, you take this decoy, and there's really super nice looking plastic decoys that you can pay upwards of $200 for. Take them in a room, turn the lights out, and get a black light out. Take that black light and you shine it over the plastic decoys. There's nothing. They're just flat black, no iridescence, no UV, nothing. You come to the feathers on this and you shine that ultraviolet light on it, it looks like a Christmas tree. I mean, it's got 100 different colors going on, and I mean, it's our opinion that that's what those turkeys pick up on. You know, they see the ultraviolet on the feathers. We've had experience with camouflage. You know, we use UV killer on our camouflage, and I can definitely say for sure that turkeys see UV, because I had a turkey vest one time that I bought, didn't spray it with UV killer, and I might as well have had a blinking red light on the top of my head because it scared them absolutely to death. So, you know, they do see UV, they do see color the same as we do, and you know, the only way you're going to duplicate that ultraviolet and those sheens and shimmers and all that is with the feathers. Nobody's been able to paint anything on a plastic decoy that looks like that. So, I mean, yeah, $500 is a big investment, but you know, if you spend $200 and your decoy's sitting at home in the closet, you know, that's $200 you could have spent on something else. So, in our opinion, you know, these are it. They work. They work all the time. We've never had any problems with running turkeys off with them. You know, to a turkey, this is a real turkey, and he sees the feathers, he sees the ultraviolet, and you know, he's sold on it.